Sports.
We are Fox. We are San Diego.
Huge night last night for Brian Mitchell as he dominated the Giants. He goes 8 2/3 innings last night. 7 hits, no earned runs, 7 Ks, 118 pitches, and the Padres take game 1 5-0. By far his best outing of the year as the Padres and Giants play game 2 of the series tonight from San Francisco. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres baseball. Well, tonight towing the rubber is Robbie Erlin, and this year kind of an even split for him out of the pen and in the rotation. Tonight he gets a start.
I think if Robbie Erlin, Don, wanted to check a box, reliever or starter, I think every pitcher wants to be in that rotation once every 5 days. But it's interesting when you see the numbers for Robbie out of the pen and starting. This is going to boggle your mind right here. As a starter, 51 1/3, ERA 6.66. Opponents hitting 3.23. Now, as a reliever, the way I look at this, starter, you start the game, you try to go through 3 times, but as a reliever, maybe it's an inning here, maybe it's an inning there. You get through an inning, you throw a double play ball, and you get out of that mess. Whereas as a starter, there are chances where you have very taxing innings. Hey, the one thing for sure is this. If, in fact, Robbie goes to spring training next year and he ends up on the team as a reliever, I think he's the type of kid, he understands his role, and he will take that role and run with it and do the best he can.
Well, looking forward to 2019 for the Padres. You look at the top of the order, so important for them to finish strong, and right now, they are.
I like these 3 kids we're going to talk about right now because they have the chance, I think all 3 of them, to be impact players. I mean, Will Myers, yeah, he's been around the block. If he can stay healthy, get 600 at-bats and put the ball in the ballpark, it's just not the home runs. It's taking the walks and letting the next guy. So when you have this trifecta of Myers, you've got Hunter Renfroe the second half of the season, using the whole field. He's adjusted his swing, and it's paid dividends. So strong he can fight pitches off like he did last night. And then, of course, Franmil Reyes. I tell you what, I think the sky's the limit for this kid. He's got a good idea at the plate. AAA, he was driving the ball the opposite way. He's doing the same thing at the big league level. Good 2-strike approach. So, impact players, Don. Could you imagine these 3 guys? They're outfielders, 1, 2, and 3, paying some dividends and just raking next year at the big league level. That'd be great for the Padres.
Well, the Padres trying to make it 2 in a row over the Giants tonight in game 2 of the series from San Fran. Coming up, Mike and Mark back at the Fox Sports San Diego studios. We'll get you caught up on the Colorado Rockies trying to get to the postseason. That's next.
last night, coming within 1 out of a complete game shutout. How did he do it? He did it with the fastball. Yeah, he got a little bit of help from his friends. Manny Margot running one down, but for the most part, he did it himself. Good 2 hearts, sinkers down in the zone, off-speed pitches. He was absolutely brilliant yesterday, and an excellent effort by Brian Mitchell. He ends up striking out 7 last night, 13 ground ball outs. And when you talk to him about what the difference was, he says, look, it's about the 2-seam fastball and some adjustments that I made in the minor leagues. We talked to Brian after the ball game to talk about the sterling effort.
I mean, it was awesome. I kind of, as soon as I came back off the deal, I wanted to make a point to finish strong. So the work I put in, I mean, it finally showed. I was able to finish on a strong note, so it feels really good. I didn't plan for this year to kind of go the way it has, but it's kind of been a learning experience in a sense, especially, I mean, yeah, definitely a different pitcher right now than I was, using the 2-seam a lot, and curveball's always been my best pitch, and it's been kind of elusive all year, and it's been an adjustment to work without that. Definitely kind of learned a little bit. I mean, but that the month in AAA really helped, and I knew the keys that I needed to do to have success, and I feel like I did pretty good of that this September.
Credit to Brian Mitchell for making the adjustments down in AAA, as he talked about. He came into the season a 4-seam fastball curveball pitcher. He leaves this season a better pitcher with a 2-seam fastball and a nice cutter to go to. He's excited about next season. Well, the Padres will try to do some damage tonight against Chris Stratton. They'll try to keep batting versus Stratton. 5 earned runs against him the last time they faced him. They look to give some run support to Robbie Erlin. Padres, Giants, first pitch coming up next right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Was outstanding in tonight's game. Hit pretty well back towards the wall, and it is gone. The Padres take a 2-0 lead. Swing and a miss, and the Padres win. One night last night in San Francisco, it was game 1, and the Padres with the shutout behind Brian Mitchell. Well, tonight is game 2 of the series, and it's time for the weather report brought to you by your always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County. 57 degrees, a little bit on the chilly side with a breeze at 11 miles per hour. Forecast is clear for the remainder of the night, but it is on the cool side, and the breeze is blowing out to right center field as we get it started. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, Bob Scanlon with you. the middle game of this 3-game series for Andy Green's Padres. We check out their lineup, brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Freddie Galvis at the top of that lineup with Will Myers at third base. Franmil Reyes in right field with Eric Hosmer in the cleanup spot at first. Hunter Renfroe in left with Austin Hedges doing the catching. It was Mejia last night, Hedges tonight. Travis Jankowski's in center. Javi Guerra in the lineup at shortstop, bats eighth. And Robbie Erlin, the pitcher, out of the 9th spot. On the mound tonight for the San Francisco Giants is Chris Stratton.
28-year-old, he's making his 26th start, and for Stratton, he's 2-3 with a 3.13 ERA in 6 starts since being recalled on August 21st. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup does not light up the radar gun. He's got to rely on location with that fastball. And we saw the Padres recently hitting some mistakes, both the fastball and breaking ball. Let's see if they can get on the board early against Stratton. The right-hander getting a start tonight for the Giants.
Coming in with a record of 10-10, so he'd like to finish over the 500 mark individually. As Freddie Galvis stands in on the left side to get it started tonight. Stratton ready to work, and the first pitch of the ball game is going to miss for ball 1. Padres in their alternate blue jerseys on the road tonight. Galvis at 241, 13 homers, 66 runs batted in. And the recipient of strike 1. Stratton coming in with a 4.88 earned run average. This is his 27th overall appearance, 26th start. He did make 1 appearance out of the pen.
He really doesn't have that one wow pitch, Don. You know, we talked about his arsenal just a bit ago. So he's got to be spot on, up and down, in and out, back and forth, changing speeds, try to avoid the barrel. And yeah, if you're effective around the plate, good strikes. Off the plate just a little bit, that 92 on the inside part of the plate will be effective. We just saw it right there.
Galvis sprays it foul. Will do it again. 2-2. The Giants really have tailed off here at the end of the year. They've lost 17 of their last 21 games, scoring just 55 runs in those 21 games. Just over 2 runs a game for the Giants. Got trouble scoring runs. The offense not been good. Full count now, and they had 0 runs in game 1 of the series. You don't have to tell Bruce Bochy. He knows all about it.
No, he's frustrated. He's very frustrated. He's the type of manager, like any manager, even though you're out of the race, you want to finish up strong. You want to see him put something together.
Good plate appearance by Freddie Galvis. A leadoff walk here in the top of the first inning.
Take a look at the Giants defense, brought to you by your San Diego County Cadillac dealers. Hunter Pence in right, Gorky Hernandez in center, Slater in left. On the infield, Longoria, Crawford, Avelino, Garcia. Behind the plate tonight, catching Stratton, Nick Hundley.
Yeah, Will Myers standing in. Myers at 261 to start the day. 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Running a season high 5-game hitting streak is Myers. They check on Galvis. 400 average in the last 5 games, 8 for his last 20 at the plate. Myers with 7 extra base hits in his last 11 games. And swinging a pretty good bat here at the end of the year. And finishing strong, as we talked about in the open, certainly important for a lot of guys.
So important, very important. And we talked about the 3 in our pregame, right? Myers, Reyes, Renfroe. They're split up by Eric Hosmer. But see, this is the ideal situation to where the Padres want to excel next year. You get a guy on base, and you got 2, 3, 4 coming up to where you have a high percentage of getting at least 1 run across. That's what the Padres need to do.
Seems like the Padres go the way Myers go, and Padres wins. He's hit at 324 this year. No one knocked down by Hundley.
And you know, a lot of teams are talented, Don, and they spend a lot of money to try to bring you a championship. But let's face it, and the Oakland A's are a perfect example, right? a lot of teams that win have a handful of guys that have career years and have things put together really well.
To short, Crawford goes to second for one, on to first for two. Double play. That takes care of that leadoff walk on the 6-4-3 Twin Killing. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, hopefully these keys will lead to another victory like the 5-0 shutout last night for the Padres. No errors for Robbie. That's Robbie Erlin on the hill last time out. Miscue led to a run. And strike Stratton early. He just rolled a double play ball to clear up the bases. So the Padres need some 2-out thunder possibly. And here's a guy. Even with 2 outs, a double play could put the ball in the ballpark.
And 2 down here in the first inning, and it brings up Franmil Reyes. 279, 16 homers, 26 runs batted in. Reyes batting in the 3 spot. Ground ball right side and through into right field. Well, it seems like a lot of his hits going the opposite way. Had 2 of them last night go out there, and this one shoots it through the right side.
Look at Franmil working that shillelagh the opposite way. Once again, Stratton throws about 92. He's got to work it in and out, right? But Franmil is so strong. It looks like he kind of gets beat on that fastball inside. But the way they are positioned, 1, 2, it's a 3-hopper. And the big fella singles to right to break up the no-hitter.
2 down for Eric Hosmer. Hosmer in the cleanup spot in tonight's game. 250 average coming in for Hosmer. 17 homers, 65 runs batted in. Sprays it foul off to the left, and it's 0-2. Another guy that likes to go the other way. 69 hits to the opposite field for Eric Hosmer. That leads the majors.
And with the way the Giants are playing, they're on the pull side. That maybe tells me that Stratton's trying to maybe pitch him inside, kind of tie him up. If he does in fact hit something the opposite way, it's kind of a weak grounder. But he has got to hit his spots in order to have that defense work for him.
Center fielder Gorky Hernandez over towards left center. Let's take a look at StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Straight up the middle, 32%. Brandon Crawford is in that piece of pie, and then 31% to second base. Avellino all the way back on the grass. Well, the shortstop and the second baseman.
Wild swing and a miss for Hosmer. He strikes out to end the inning. Padres leave a runner. The Giants are coming up. By Petco, the pet company. By Cadillac. Visit your San Diego Cadillac dealers today. By Honda, great deals are waiting for you now at your local Honda dealer. And by SeaWorld. Sea Turtle is tonight's word of the game. Head to foxsportssandiego.com and click Ways to Win for your chance to win a SeaWorld Family 4-pack. Beautiful AT Park. To the bottom of the first inning we go. Padres don't score on the top of the first inning. And it is Hunter Pence leading it off here for the Giants in the bottom of the first inning. He's led off back-to-back games now for the Giants. And taking strike one from the Padres starter tonight, Robbie Erlin. Pence has had a down year and in the lineup on a regular basis now because of all the injuries. Andrew McCutchen, of course, started the year here and was traded away. Now Pence getting a chance to play regularly. Grounding to short. Guerra will have that one get through him, and aboard at first base is Pence. So Javi Guerra gets the start, and he has an error at shortstop to begin the night here.
Yeah, not good news for Robbie Erlin. And there goes one of my keys. As the fan favorite Hunter Pence is aboard.
Let's check out the Giants starting nine. We've seen Pence. Slater's in left, Longoria at third, Crawford at short, with Hundley doing the catching, Garcia at first, Hernandez in center, Avellino at second base, and Chris Stratton, the pitcher, batting out of the 9th spot for Bruce Bochy. Lead runner on for Austin Slater. Takes strike one. Austin Slater at 254, a home run, 23 runs batted in. Even though the Giants have struggled, they still have won 10 of the 17 meetings between the Padres and the Giants this year. There's strike two. Staying on that inside corner.
Well, a couple of ideal things here. One would be the strikeout, now going for 0-2, right? And either that or the ground ball. So up to 2 strikes, work for that ground ball, try to get the double play. Now Robbie can go for the punch out.
There's a pop up right side of the infield. Freddie Galvis will make the catch for out number 1 here in the first inning.
Check out the rest of the defense for the Padres, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Saw Freddie Galvis at second base this evening. Javi Guerra is at shortstop, up the middle. Speaking of up the middle, in center field, the new father, Travis Jankowski. In left field, Hunter Renfroe. In right, Franmil Reyes. At the corners on the infield, Will Myers at third, Eric Hosmer at first, and putting down the signs tonight, Austin Hedges.
1 out, 1 on for Evan Longoria. Seemed fooled on the breaking ball, but tad high for ball 1. 245 average for Longoria in his first year here with the Giants. Guy is used to having 20 home runs years in and year out. This is line to left field, and that's in for a hit down towards the left field corner. Hunter Pence making his way around is going to try and score. He will without a problem. It's an RBI double for Evan Longoria, and it's the Giants who jump on top 1-0. Error costly that begins this inning.
Big time error that will lead to extra pitches for Robbie Erlin. And anytime you get free outs, I don't care how bad a team is hitting, how poorly they have been doing the rest of the year, you cannot give them free outs. Well, Longoria, ever the pro in the batter's box, he'll hit mistakes. And Hunter Pence all the way from first base because that ball rattling around in the left field corner.
1 down, Longoria at second base. Here's Brandon Crawford in the cleanup spot for the Giants. And Andy Green saying yesterday in discussing Javi Guerra, he's got to earn his way here to get playing time. Well, tonight he gets a start and right out of the gate makes an error defensively at short.
Hey, it's the big leagues, right? Got to make the plays.
Really, the problem was his offense in El Paso at the end of the year. There's a grounder right side to first base. Hosmer will take it to the bag. On to third goes Longoria with now 2 down. amazing how some guys, as far as the unearned runs go, it just works out that way, that defensively behind you, for whatever reason, get a lot of them. And it's been the case with Robbie Earl.
One guy always gets the bad draw, it seems like. No support. And Robbie's also a guy, and once again, because of the Padres, they're 15th in the National League in average with 235, but down in some offensive categories, but not a lot of support. Received 3 runs of support or more in just 3 of his starts. So there's really no room for error.
And Nick Hundley, the former Padre, always seems to do well against San Diego. 244, 9 homers, 30 runs batted in. Buster Posey lost for the year, the hip surgery. It'll be interesting. Having a catcher who has major hip surgery, how much catching does he do in the future? Now, granted, he's played a lot of games at first base this year, and they've kind of moved him in that direction anyway, but it's going to be a lot more maybe in the future.
Maybe. Who knows what's going to happen with Brandon Belt?
Right.
I believe he still has, 3 more years left on his deal?
I think that's right.
Yeah, he's got a lot of time left. But I don't know the history of medical records for catchers in the big leagues who's had hip surgery then bounced back. I'd have to say it's very small percentage, if any.
So Nick Hundley, who is the backup, now playing on a regular basis. And I think he went. They check. Yeah, he did. Strikes out to end the inning, but the Giants strike first. They get a run here in the first. Played 1-0 San Francisco. A little bit on the chilly side. Hunter Renfroe, Austin Hedges, and Travis Jankowski to bat as we check out the Kia Drive to Success. Hunter Renfroe, slugging percentage since the break, .557, 5th in that category. Christian Yelich, who many think may be the National League MVP, .732 slugging percentage since the break for the Milwaukee Brewers. Renfroe skies one left side of the infield. Brandon Crawford now backpedaling to the outfield for out number 1.
We got a lot of races, Don, that are hold all tickets, photo finishes. Stay tuned, right?
Yep.
NL West, Rookie of the Year, MVP. These are some good races.
Soto and Acuna in the.
Boy, their stats are so close.
Very similar.
You go with the winning team, the Braves, the guy on the winning team, right?
I think so. I think you do.
If I was forced to pick one, I would go with Acuna.
Soto is younger. He's 19.
Yep.
One down here in the second inning. As Hedges hits one to third. Nice pick by Longoria. And it's dug out on the other side by Garcia.
Well, we've seen a couple of throws from Longoria last night that to second base in the dirt, to first base in the dirt, and that one in the dirt. Picked by Ramos Garcia. Hit hard enough to where he can get up, crow hop, and the pick.
So 2 down here in the second inning. Travis Jankowski coming up. Travis getting the start in center field tonight for the Padres.
Great news for Travis, bringing life into the world. He and his lovely bride, Lindsay. Bentley Jackson Jankowski.
Cool name.
Very cool name. Cool dad. Cool mom and dad.
Back up the middle into center field, and a base hit for Travis Jankowski. Right by the outstretched glove of Chris Stratton, the pitcher, and quickly into center, a 2-out single.
I've always been a firm believer. When you become a father, you bring life into the world, good things are going to happen. And Travis Jankowski, after being in the hole, takes this one right back up the middle.
Well aboard with 2 down. 8-hitter for the Padres coming up here in Javi Guerra. 1 for 10 so far this year in the big leagues. And a grounder softly right side. To the backhand goes Garcia, covering the pitcher Stratton for the out. That ends the top of the second. Inning and a half done. Giants have a 1-0 lead.
And I think he's one of the guys who will go into spring training with the opportunity to pitch as a starter, the opportunity to pitch out of the pen, or the opportunity to do a lot of different things for us going into next year. You're going to always need swing guys throughout the course of a season, guys that can step in and make a spot start when you need to, if that's the role he ends up in. But he clearly proved he can pitch effectively out of the bullpen for us this year, and rotation's been some ups and downs, but hopefully close it out on an up note here.
That's Andy Green talking about Robbie Erlin and about what a great job he's done as the swingman this year. Remember, in the bullpen, 27 appearances, a 2.05 earned run average. He's also been effective as a starter. And what's interesting, guys, we have to keep in mind, this is his first full season back coming off of Tommy John surgery. So the stuff has been better. And Don and Mudd, as you guys know, it's not just the stuff that you have, it's how you use that stuff. And the Padres have said that they've talked to Robbie about maybe making some changes in how he sequences his pitches going into next season, but certainly been a valuable asset to this staff and intends to be next year as well, guys.
All right, thanks very much, Stan. We took a look at the numbers off the top as this one grounded to short, and Guerra fires to first base. Nice throw to get Garcia for the first out of the inning. I was surprised to find out the innings are identical for Penn and Starks for Erlin during the year.
Yeah, I would like Bob's thoughts on this, but I look at those numbers and I'm thinking, you know, as a reliever, you come in, maybe you face a team, maybe it's 1 inning, it's 3 guys. That's the way usually Major League Baseball works right now. You get the 6th, 7th, or 8th, and you pass it on. You know, Robbie has gone 2 innings. He's gone 3 innings, but maybe it's one of the biggest conundrums ever. But I think when it was all said and done, Robbie would like to be a starter. Bob, what do you think?
I don't think there's any question that he'd like to be a starter. And Mudd, I don't know about you, but I think that he has the repertoire to be a starter. And I think even more so this year because of the added late life that he has on his curveball. And I think that's the one thing the Padres would like to see maybe a little bit more of. In other words, yes, he has the slider. It's been effective at times. But when you're facing the lineup 2 or 3 times, as you're talking about, the back and forth becomes even more important. Yeah. So don't be surprised next year if we see maybe a little bit more emphasis on the breaking, on the curveball, and the changeup, something to complement that fastball. But, you know, we'll wait and see. And, you know, the nice thing is that he is a swing man. And, guys, it's not that easy to do. And I think working out of the bullpen for him this year has been very helpful in terms of his focus as a starter, not getting worried about things too far in the future, just taking care of the pitch he's got to take care of right now.
I'm a firm believer of the changeup. If Robbie, I think, could refine that changeup, I think that's just me personally. Being a left-handed pitcher, you know, you got the 92, 93 fastball. If you can master that behind the count, I think you're looking for good things.
Like that one right there.
Grounded to short, and this one off the glove of Hosmer, and reaching at first base, and actually being awarded second base is Hernandez. Ends up out of play. So that doesn't work out. There's another error here, perhaps on the throw. Be the second error of the game for Garrett. We'll see. Hosmer did get a glove on it, I think.
I think that's going to be an error as we take a look. Off the end of the bat, bad swing. Worked underneath it, and yeah.
That's a catchable ball, isn't it?
Eric Hosmer. Did he have to come off the bag there? Wow.
Now it's an E6.
Yeah.
I want to ask Scan about the pitching sequence he was talking about earlier, too. As here is Avellino. And a ground one back to the mound. Erlin looks the runner back at second. Soft toss to first, 2 down. Scan, is his pattern becoming predictable, and is that why they want to change up the sequence, or what's the deal with the changing of his pitch selection?
I didn't get the sense, Don, that they were talking about predictability. It was more how the pitches complement each other. So in other words, for example, one of the things I learned from Greg Maddux is that it's safer to go with a curveball than a changeup, and then a curveball. It's all about how you speed up and slow down a batter's eye, what pitch you come after to complement that pitch. So again, it's not necessarily the stuff. You could have a good fastball, good slider, good changeup. It's how you use those things to allow yourself to have more margin for error. So that was the sense that I got from Andy. And again, I like Mark Grant's idea of incorporating the changeup even more, because moving back and forth, I think, is the most effective way to pitch. The human eye just simply physiologically does not pick up back and forth as much as the other directions. Mudd, did you have a good changeup back in the day?
It got better as I got older, Scan. And why? Because it's a pitch I had success with, and I threw it behind in the count. And it was probably one of my better, as I went on in my career as a reliever, secondary pitches. Sinker, four-seamer, changeup.
I had a changeup. I never used it until AAA, and I had a coach that forced me to face batters. He put me in batters in the batting cage. He said, "You're going to go fastball, changeup only, and I just want you to see the reaction of the hitters." And sure enough, all of a sudden, I saw guys missing changeups when they knew all I had was fastball, changeup. And it wasn't until that moment that I actually realized the power of that pitch. Even when guys know it's coming, sometimes if you have good arm speed, they're still out in front of it. It's such a powerful weapon.
1-2 pitch here to Stratton, and a swing and a miss. Erlin picks up his second strikeout of the night. The Giants have a 1-0 lead through 2. Francisco. Going to be 9-1-2 coming up here for the Padres. Robbie Erlin, Freddie Galvis, and Will Myers. Well, we know who is going to be in the wild card. It's going to be the Oakland A's against the New York Yankees. And if you the Yankees, who do you start? Take a look at the All-Star break numbers since, and Severino would have been my pick before the All-Star game, but you got to go with J.A. Happ. I think you're looking at that second half, which has been tremendous.
I think you go with the hot hand, and J. Happ is my guy, who I would start in that one-game playoff. Hey, it's all or nothing, right? Start it off with Happ and see what happens. Then is it going to be a bullpen game or what? I'm really excited for this matchup.
That's the thing about it too, because you really, even if you do start him, you can have a short leash if something goes wrong. I mean, if you're playing one game here,
got to go.
Yeah,
you got to stop that bleeding, and I like the way that Oakland is matched up, especially with the magic they created this year.
Yep.
Going into the playoffs in that one-game playoff. Now, still got to wait as far as for record is concerned, correct?
Yes, as to where the venue is going to be for that game. This is to right. A base hit for Robbie Erlin starts things here in the third inning. Third Padres hit. It comes from the pitcher.
So going into today's game, tonight's action, 96 wins for the Yankees, 95 for the swinging A's.
Wow. So it's going right down to the wire.
Yeah, it is. Now, if it's tied, then did they go head-to-head?
In the season series, you mean? Probably,
yeah.
Right? They split the season series.
Oh, wow.
So record in the division is the next tie-breaking. This one grounded foul outside of third. What do you got on that?
Okay, so the Yankees in the East 40-30. Oakland in the West 36-35. So the Yankees
would have the home field advantage.
Would have the home field advantage.
Well, here's the way it is lined up right now. Still some spots here, and we were talking about the National League West.
Stay tuned. That's a good matchup right there. That's a good bracket.
Jumping ahead of Galvis, 0-2 here, the runner at first. And a swing and a miss struck him out. Pitch in the dirt. Galvis thought he fouled it off. He felt he got a piece. He's going to bring Andy Green out. He's saying that hit the ground after he tipped it, and but umpire Nick Marley, I think, is saying he never tipped it. Andy Green wants him to check, and it looks like he is going to check third base umpire Quinn Walcott. That changed direction, tough to tell.
Very tough to tell there.
No question that it hit the dirt.
Right.
Question is whether he foul tipped it or not. Because Galvis was pointing to the bat that he foul tipped it. Now they're calling it a foul ball. So they felt he made contact.
Now Bruce Bochy will counter.
Here he comes. This is a frustrated guy.
Yes, it is.
You know Boch very well.
Yes, he is.
Frustrated right now.
And he might take out some frustration right here.
He doesn't need much of an excuse to get fired up here.
That's right. A lot of injuries, rotation. Best player got traded. Oh, here we go.
This is saying, how can the third base umpire see what the home plate umpire can't see?
Ooh.
Yeah. Right now, giving him a lot of leeway is Marvin Hudson.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Maybe Boch wants to get run.
I've seen some words that generally can get you run.
Yeah.
Yep. Guess not. They were not going to throw him out. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, there's two. Did you hear two?
Yeah.
Yep. That's good sound right there.
0-2 going to try and elevate, and he lines one the other way into left field for a base hit. So instead of a strikeout, Freddie Galvis with a base hit. And the Padres have runners at first and second with nobody out. Worked out great for San Diego.
And you know, they got the call right. You could definitely hear an object hitting two separate things. One was the bat, the other one was the ground, and the next pitch, Freddie Galvis staying inside it and just spanking the ball to left field. First and second action with nobody out.
That's kind of a mislocation for Stratton. You saw Hundley kind of standing. They wanted that ball up a lot higher than it was. So 2 on, nobody out here in the third inning, and here's Will Myers. Runners in scoring position at 333. He's been good in this spot. Grounds one to shortstop. Crawford goes to second for one, on to first. Low throw, and Garcia couldn't dig it out. Myers almost grounded into his second double play of the night, but instead they do get the runner at second for the first out of the inning.
Oh, rather than 2 outs and a runner just at third base, now the Padres, good feed. Now the Padres have runners at corner, still only 1 out. Looked like a very pickable ball over there for Garcia. He picked one earlier in the game already. Good feed from Crawford.
So Garcia at first is a catcher by trade. He was playing first base.
Yeah. Bruce Bochy told me before the game he only played like 3 games at first base in the minor leagues.
Right. And that's where he's been playing every day.
Yeah.
And because of injuries, Brandon Belt lost for the year. First and third, 1 down for Franmil Reyes. A base hit to right in the first inning. Breeze again tonight, headed out towards right center field. High for ball 2, 2-1. There's the breeze and the flags out there in right center. Similar to last night. Saw some balls that were affected by that breeze last night. A cool night tonight in San Francisco. Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Padres and the Giants. Padres blanking the Giants last night. That's ball 3.
I love the weather. 57. I love it. Beautiful day in the city today.
A little windy for me. A little windy. Got to be honest.
Not enough glue for your hair hat or what?
No, the moss was flying around a little bit. Yeah. Fouled off to the right, out of play, full count.
You got the toupee flapping all over the place. You got the flip up model.
Well, bad hair, just bad hair, not a toupee. I
don't have to worry about that.
That's true. Maybe that's why you liked it so much here today. Very windy downtown. Very windy.
Out to center and right center field here at AT&T Park.
Runner goes at first as that's ball 4, up and in. That will load the bases. Second walk given up by Stratton.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app to watch live Padres baseball. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Padres home screen icons, features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Bases loaded, 1 down. Eric Hosmer coming up. Hosmer struck out swinging in the first inning. Only K of the night so far for Stratton. Padres with a chance here, trailing 1-0, but they've got the bases loaded with 1 out in the third inning. It's Erlin at third, Myers at second, Reyes at first. Line to left center field, in for a base hit. From third comes Erlin. A bobble out there at center. Another run will score. Reyes stops at third. 2 runs in for the Padres, who take a 2-1 lead. Eric Hosmer driving in a couple.
That's a big-time clutch hit. Stratton missing with location again. That two-seamer kind of runs over the heart of the plate, knee-high, and Eric Hosmer squares that one up. You can hear that one squared up all the way up here. Robbie Erlin makes sure it gets through the infield. He scores easily, and with one swing of the bat, talking about big hits, Padres take the lead on that one swing from Eric Hosmer.
So it is a single, 2 RBIs on the play for Hosmer. An error charged to the center fielder Gorkis Hernandez allows Reyes to advance to third. So first and third now. We're still 1 out in the inning, 2 runs in. And it brings up Hunter Renfroe with a chance to drive in a run. Now Renfroe third in the majors with 40 RBIs since the start of August. Only Michael Conforto with 41 and Christian Yelich with 41 have more during that time. Hundley with a block there. Renfroe popped out to short in the second inning, 0 for 1. Pitch headed down and away. So far a 2-run top half of the third inning for San Diego. Now a liner off the glove of the second baseman Avellino into center. That'll score Reyes from third. Hosmer headed to third. Throw will be late. And the Padres take a 3-1 lead. Avellino literally got hit in the glove. That's hard to do.
That ball's got it. You know, it was squared up, but that ball, whether it's knuckling, maybe this will give us a. You can't tell right there, but you know, I think that's a ball that's got to be caught.
It's an E4.
Yeah.
Second error of the inning.
Wow.
Remember, there could have been a double play turn in this inning, too. Padres have scored 3 times. First and third again. Austin Hedges taking strike 1. It's not been a pretty inning for the Giants. Hedges becomes the 7th member of the Padres to bat here in the top of the third. Throw over and back is Renfroe. Hedges grounded out to third baseman Evan Longoria in the second inning, 0 for 1. Hosmer at third. Renfroe across the diamond at first. Still only 1 out.
You know, the way things are going tonight for both teams, I think the big key is put the ball in play, right? Try to avoid the strikeout.
The way the defense is going. And the struggle so far tonight, defensively, both sides. Both teams with 2 errors in this game. We're in the third inning.
Yeah.
Most recent, Avellino at second base. 22 pitches so far in the inning for Stratton, has had to work hard. Still only 1 out. Hedges will foul it off to the right, out of play. Hedges did not play in last night's first game. Francisco Mejia did the catching, and tonight it is Hedges as they share time behind the dish here down the stretch for the Padres. Total of 50 pitches thrown by Chris Stratton. Line foul. Swing and a miss, and he gets Hedges to chase. Fastball running away at 93. Second strikeout for Stratton, 2 down.
Well, let's see what the right-hander goes with there. A little breaking ball, maybe a cut fastball off the plate after battling, fouling some pitches off. That one's close enough to where Austin has to protect and cannot foul off that pitch. Now an RBI opportunity for Travis Jankowski.
Here's Travis Jankowski, who singled to center field in the second inning. And takes ball 1. Two outs and runners in scoring position. Hit it an even .250 this year. A couple of doubles for Jankowski. And jumps ahead 2-0. On the ground towards the shortstop. A lot of spin. Crawford will go underhanded to second to end the inning. Well, the damage is done. The Padres scored 3 times in the third inning. How about Eric Hosmer? He drives in a pair with his base hit to center field. Padres trailed 1-0. Now they lead it 3-1. Lead at 3-1. It's time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question.
I love trivia.
Pitcher Yu had 2 career complete games, including 1 shutout. Which team did you shut out?
Is that a high school trivia question?
Now I'm pretty
Definitely
sure
it's not a big league trivia question.
You know the answer, right?
Did we have to come up with that one tonight, really?
I thought it was a rather weak question myself, but they don't check with me.
Yeah. Well, whoever it was.
Yeah.
What was that question again? 2 shutouts?
2 shutouts.
Whoever.
2 complete games, 1 shutout, right? 1 shutout. Who was the shutout against? Which team did you?
I know the answer.
You do.
And they were in tremendous slump.
Well, you had
night.
so many. I don't know how you could remember that. You know.
There was a flu bug going around the other team's locker room, and they were in a tremendous slump when that shutout complete game happened.
We're about to come on camera, and it's going to be hard to miss a purchase you made today. That I got to say, it's something. It's really,
Thank you. I love scarves. Scarves are underrated. I think every man should own one. Should be in your closet or your dresser drawer. It's when you make that
probably your closet
trip.
Would be the best place for it.
Or your drawer. You know, you've got a sock drawer. You've got an accessories drawer. I know I do.
Yep. It's from the players today.
This is center field, and Jankowski's out there ready to catch it for the first out. Now, Scan last night wore one. He's got one on again tonight.
Yeah.
And I noticed that all of a sudden now you're buying one. I just can't help but think that you were jealous of Scan and his last night.
Very jealous.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was kind of jealous of you guys yesterday. So what I did is I went out and got myself a fireplace.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see this at all, but I'm staying nice and toasty tonight.
Good for you. I like that.
Yeah, I made the adjustment, guys, so I'm doing a little better there.
The great ones adjust.
Yeah.
That's nice.
By the way, Mud, there were some reviews that came in about your scarf tonight.
From?
Matt Strom, Kirby Yates, I mean, a few of the other guys.
What did they say?
Nice scarf, Mud.
Well, you know what? There's a story behind this. I was walking downtown San Francisco today, and I came across this Scottish store. You know, a lot of Scottish attire, kilts and stuff like that. And last name Grant, Scottish heritage. This is the Grant plaid.
Nice.
So the gentleman was kind enough. I told him my last name, and he went to the scarf display, and he said, "Here's your family plaid from Scotland."
That's really cool. The only problem is that it's shedding.
It's 100% lamb's wool. Don't touch.
I don't think it is.
Hey, Don.
Yes,
would you have been more impressed if he'd actually gotten the kilt?
Yes, that would have been. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is like coming off. Scan it. It may fall apart. If I pull on it too much,
100% lamb's wool.
I know what it says, but you can make those tags anywhere.
Don, is it getting a little furry in the booth there for you, buddy?
Well, because you know it's windy.
Yeah.
And literally his scarf is blowing off. So I mean I don't know how much is going to be left by the end of the game.
Every man should own a scarf.
That's falling. How much did you pay?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. See? It's like $4 for 2. The 1-2 pitch is fouled off.
Actually, I'll be honest with you, it was $34.
Wow, you got ripped off. They saw you coming. Yeah, this is the Grant plaid. Yeah, that's going to be $40. Yeah.
Hey, Don, if you'd walked in, they would have had the Orsillo plaid waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
For only $5 a scarf.
I'm going to go tomorrow. 1-2 pitch. That is going to miss to Austin Slater.
All right, the test tomorrow. We're all going to go to that shop. Don, you and I are going to go to that shop tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm going to pull up the Scanlon plaid, whatever they sell me.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it's the same as the Grant plaid.
Yeah. Very similar, I'm going to guess.
I would agree.
Yep. This is fouled off.
Then we can all buy some Florida property together, too.
Yes. Bobby Erlin working here with 40 pitches deep into his outing in 2 1/3 innings. That's strike 3. Good pitch. 3rd strikeout for Erlin. 2 down.
There's that downward playing fastball glove side command down and in that's really tough to turn around if you're a right-handed hitter. Perfectly placed. Nice job also by Austin Hedges sticking that one exactly where it was thrown.
That's going to miss away for ball 1-2. Evan Longoria double to drive in a run. The only hit so far the Giants have mustered tonight. Padres out hitting the Giants 5-1. Center fielder Travis Jankowski over into right center for Longoria to go the other way. There's Travis over towards right center. Lots of room in left center. Check swing. Did he go? No. Let's take a look at tonight's Indeed player resume. Resume for Evan Longoria. Longtime Tampa Bay Ray. 2008 AL Rookie of the Year. 3-time All-Star. 3 Gold Gloves. 1 Silver Slugger. And ooh, down he goes. Fouled it off himself and painfully goes down.
That's that breaking ball down and in from a lefty into a righty. When you have that angle, that pitch, the curveball, you try to get the bat head out in front, catch it out in front, and that hurts.
Pretty high on the leg. I think knee maybe, huh?
Yeah.
So used to the shoe tops or shin area.
Yeah, inside of the left knee, right?
Yeah. Staying in the game. Anyone else? 2 down here in the third, and Longoria with a full count. He bats now. The inning continues. Brandon Crawford next. There's a grounder softly towards second. Galvis racing in, goes glove to glove for the out. That will end the inning. So Longoria retired. 1-2-3 go the Giants. 3-1 Padres. Answer our Valley View Casino trivia question. Who's on the weak side tonight? Pitcher Mark Grant had 2 career complete games, including 1 shutout. Wow. Which team did he shut out? The Atlanta Braves. Swing and a miss here for Javi Guerra. Tell us about it.
Do I have to?
No, tell us about it. Well, you went 9 innings, which of course you need to. 2 hits, no earned runs.
You know, one thing sticks out in that game. One is, I think it was who was the hitter?
He hit a ball right in front of me.
He hit a comebacker to me, and it hit off my rump, a one hopper off my rump, and it went right out straight to shortstop to Gary Templeton. Ball went between Tempe's legs into the outfield. They ruled it a hit.
Wow.
And I think Deion James got a hit in the 5th inning.
Okay, so I know who it was.
To break up a no-hitter.
was a friend of mine, a guy I know, Gerald Perry.
Gerald Perry, was it?
Yeah, because there were only 2 hits off you.
Deion James and Gerald Perry?
Yeah. So it was the Atlanta Braves, so Gerald Perry had the hit. Let's see.
I think Deion James' hit came in the 6th. That's the first hit that I gave up.
Ron Gann went 0 for 4. Dale Murphy 0 for 4. Ken Oberfell 0 for 2. Blauser 0 for 1. Ken Griffey Sr. 0 for 1. Greg Nettles is a pinch hitter 0 for 1. Wow.
Well, like I said, there was a flu bug going around the Braves clubhouse.
He was dominant that day. This one fouled off to the left out of play.
Hey, every squirrel finds a nut once in a while, right?
Popped up foul off to the left out of play. Hoping for a better question. Trivia question.
Well, it's getting late in the year, right?
Game 158. Guerra, Erlin, and Galvis in the inning. And Guerra strikes out. Changed up. That's 3 strikeouts now for Stratton. 1 down here in the 4th inning.
You know, we talked about the changeup from Robbie Erlin being an effective pitch. How about that one there? Very nicely thrown by Stratton. Really good changeup. Good arm action.
Foul back. Erlin's already got a hit in this game. He singled to right field in the 3rd inning. Now bats in the 4th with 1 down. This is his 5th hit of the year. Now 5 for 22 at the plate.
I kind of smell stew right now. Does it smell good? It smells like mom's stew on a Sunday, doesn't it?
Yeah, I smell it.
Pot roast, carrots, potatoes. It smells good.
Grounded to short as Crawford picks and throws. 2 down in the 4th inning. Top of the order, Freddie Galvis coming up. Galvis has been on twice, a walk and a single.
How about Freddie taking his time strolling up to the dish for enabling Robbie Erlin to get back to that dugout? And
professional courtesy.
Yeah. It's a veteran move.
Now Stratton, who had a long 3rd inning, trying to minimize the pitch total here in the 4th inning, has 2 outs, nobody on. Falling behind Galvis, 2-1. Ball 3. The inning continues. Myers will be next here for the Padres in the 4th inning.
2 things here for a pitcher. 3-1. The shorter breaking ball cutter, or maybe even a changeup and a fastball count. Ooh, got the call.
Lined into right center field. A base hit for Galvis. He will round first base and throw on the brakes there. On for the 3rd time in the game. Throw gets away on the way back in, but backed up. 2 hits and a walk for Freddie Galvis tonight.
Working the count in his favor. And that looked like a changeup. He stayed back nicely on that and rifles it to right center field.
So 2 down, runner at first brings up Will Myers. Grounded into a double play in the 1st, grounded into a fielder's choice in the 3rd. And scored a run. Bounces in and gets away from Hundley. Galvis will round second base and gets into scoring position. Now with 2 down. Wild pitch. Charge to Chris Stratton.
Is it the breaking ball, or does he spike it? Oh, it's a changeup, it looks like again.
Change directions here.
Yeah, kind of checked up after it hit. You're absolutely right, Don. Nick went to his right a little bit, checked up, off his left, maybe the glove a little bit, and then off his left shoulder.
Pitch 75 coming up here for Chris Stratton with 2 down in the 4th inning. It's by Myers.
Maybe a mix-up on the signs there, huh? Quick visit from Nick Hundley. I mean, it was short and quick. He went out, said something, and turned it right back around to go back behind home plate.
Still charge him for a mound visit.
Oh, yeah.
Brief it was.
Sure.
Falls behind Myers, 3-1. Started the inning well. Got Garrett a strikeout. Erlin grounded out, but a single by Galvis. Wild pitch gets him to second. Myers now, Reyes next if the inning continues. Ball 4 and he loses him. 3rd walk of the game allowed by Chris Stratton. So 2 on, 2 down, and they'll bring up Franmil Reyes. All of a sudden, it's become another long inning for Stratton.
Well, the last time a Padre hitter walked, that was Franmil Reyes, and it turned into a good thing. A 2 RBI single for Eric Hosmer.
Kurt Young, the pitching coach, headed out there, and it looks like action headed to the pen right now for the Giants.
Long stroll by the pitching coach, and that tells me just that, Don. They want to get somebody up. Usually pitching coaches stroll, don't stroll, they run out to the mound for their visit.
Stephen Okert is up in the pen right now for the Giants. Kurt Young, who is the pitching coach for the Oakland A's for a number of years. And of course Dave Righetti, who was here a long time as the pitching coach.
Love the big ragu. Now he's in the front office with the Giants.
Two down, 2 on. Galvis at second, Myers at first, Franmil Reyes. He's already been on twice tonight. A single to right in the 1st inning. Walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Reyes will hit a 1-hopper to second base. Avelino goes to first for the out that will end the inning. The Padres strand a pair that have a 3-1 lead. Trucks. Runner goes. Blanco will pop it up, and Hedges back to make a spectacular catch. He'll turn it into a double play. Makes the grab on the pop-up, and from his backside turns it into a double play. Play of the year candidate right there.
You know, that might have my vote. Back in April, Austin Hedges at Petco Park, getting rid of the mask with all that gear on, making a spectacular play. We've seen that more than once, ladies and gentlemen, from Austin Hedges.
Now Brandon Crawford leading it off. He's got my pick. This one fouled off to the left out of play. Seven hits last 7 games for the Giants shortstop. There's a breakdown. Robbie Erlin working with a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. He's only given up the 1 hit. To center, and Jankowski can't catch it but keeps it in front of him. Knocks it down. That'll be a base hit for Brandon Crawford to begin things here in the 4th inning. Jankowski took a chance diving in at that ball, but key is to keep it in front of you, and he did.
Looked like a catchable ball. A great job by Travis laying out where this ball hits. It looks like it hits on the side, on the inside of his glove, right? It wasn't like in front of the webbing part of his glove. So if his glove's over just a little bit more to the right, a chance for Travis to catch it, and that's a good way to maybe mess up a shoulder. He looks like he's okay, though. Good thing he kept that ball in front of him.
So lead runner on for Nick Hundley. Takes a hack and fouls it off the shoe tops. Only a strikeout victim in the 1st inning, went swinging. It's been a 3-strikeout night for Robbie Erlin.
You always have to think double play, right? Nick Hundley grounded into 8 double plays this year. Heads up left side of the infield. They're playing on the pull side. That means Robbie Erlin maybe trying to go down and in with the breaky ball. It will speed up his bat and hopefully on the ground at one of the infielders.
Sharply hit foul. Down by the tarp. Hundley down 0-2 after leadoff single by Brandon Crawford here for the Giants in the 4th inning. 0-2 from the lefty. And did he go? No. Wow, I thought he did.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I thought he did. Ryan Adetong does not agree.
Ooh, I thought he went.
If he hits it, it's a double.
Yeah, I agree with you.
1-2 pitch. Too high. Ramos Garcia waiting on deck. 2-2. And a fly ball to left field. Renfroe started back, now coming in, and that's going to fall. Bad read in left field for Renfroe. Drops in for a hit. That ball was in the air a long time. Crawford takes second. The first 2 Giants have reached here in the 4th inning.
Fooled by the swing, you think, Donnie?
Not sure. He started back.
Yeah, that's a ball that's got to be caught. And when you look at, let's see, Hunter, did he go back on that a little bit? He most certainly did. He went back on it, as you mentioned. I agree with you. Bad read there. That's frustrating for a pitcher. You make a good pitch, and the Giants get a base runner out of it.
2 on, nobody out. Ramos Garcia. Play for him to go the other way. Jankowski, center fielder, over towards right center. Routed out to Javi Garrett, shortstop in the 2nd inning in his previous plate appearance. Erlin trying to work his way around back-to-back base hits here in the 4th inning. foul. 0-2. Manfred with a single to center. Hundley with a single to left. Take up the bases right now for the Giants. Swing and a miss. He elevated at 91 and strikes out Garcia. Needed that. Strikeout number 4. Picked a pretty good time for it for Robbie Erlin.
Perfect timing. After the ball hit in the air that should have been caught. Robbie gets the big strikeout. Now runners at first and second. Keep that double play in order.
So 1 down, first and second. It brings up Gorkis Hernandez. Reached on an error first time up. Hitting at just 221 in this spot with runners in scoring position. Ball to strike now to Hernandez. Last 5 starts have been tough for Erlin overall. 1-4. There's 7.33 earned run average in the last 5. Fouled straight back. 1-2. Of course, this is a pitching rematch. A Giants 8-4 victory on Wednesday. Robbie Erlin allowed 3 runs in 5 innings. Chris Stratton allowing 5 earned runs in 3 innings. It's like we're getting action again in the Giants pen. 1-2 pitch. High for ball 2.
Action in the desert. End of 6. Dodgers, D-backs. Diamondbacks leading 2-1.
Reyes Maranta up in the pen. Real disappointing ending to the season for the Diamondbacks, a team that was in first place for what, 2/3 of the year in the NL West.
You know, I saw an interesting nugget out there the other day. On the first of every month this season, the Diamondbacks were in first place.
Wow.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Torey Lovullo told me the other day they were making plans for the postseason. They're trying to think about lining up their rotation. Whew. And then all of a sudden, really the end of August into September, the bullpen started to really falter. And that was the problem was.
And there was a long time where the Diamondbacks bullpen, they were #1 for a long time.
They pointed to the 15-inning game against the Padres, one of the games that really turned things around there.
I'll tell you what, that'll mess up bullpens for a week plus.
Had a real bad series against the Dodgers in LA that set him back. Just popped up right side. Infield fly rule in effect as Galvis will make the catch. 2 down. Diamondbacks went south in a hurry. Winning percentage in September. The Giants 4-17. The Diamondbacks 5-17. That'll take you out of a race, and it did. Avellino will take strike 1. Now you got the Dodgers on top by a 1.5 games, then the Rockies. Strike 2. The Giants got 2 on here with nobody out, but Erlin has battled back to strike out Garcia. Got Hernandez to pop out to second base. 68 pitches right now for Erlin through 3 2/3 innings. Grounder towards second base. Galvis comes charging in. He'll throw on the run and in time. Erlin out of the jam. The first two reached, but they cannot score for the Giants. We played 4 from San Francisco. Padres have a 3-1 lead. Nice play from the normal shortstop for the Padres at second base, Freddie Galvis. Top of the 5th inning. It is time now for the Arco top tier play. How about Eric Hosmer driving in a pair in the 3rd inning? Let's score Myers and Reyes. So a little bobble out there, but they were going to score anyway. And the Padres right now enjoying a 3-1 lead with the 5th inning. It'll be Hosmer, Renfroe, and Hedges batting here in the 5th inning. Stratton back out on the mound. 2 different relievers have been warming up for the Giants at different times of this game, but so far it's been all Stratton. First pitcher of the inning will be the 80th of his outing, and that starts the 5th inning. Showed you the hit by Hosmer. He struck out in the first, so 1 for 2 for the Padres first baseman. Got your game break coming up. Max Scherzer on the mound tonight for the Washington Nationals. In the Cy Young Award candidacy conversation.
Oh, I know who I'd vote for. National League. I got Jacob deGrom.
Pretty solid.
Yeah. Somebody told me a little nugget the other day. You know, the Mets offense is terrible, right? They said in the first 30 starts for Jacob deGrom, if the Mets would have scored 4 runs in each of those 30 starts, he would have been 30-0 with the way he has pitched this year. If they scored 3 runs, it was something like 27-3 or 26-4. That's how well he has pitched this year.
He's got your vote, huh?
He's got my vote.
Payoff pitch to Hosmer. Fouls it straight back. You know who I think should be in the conversation, probably isn't?
Who's that?
Kyle Freeland.
Yeah, for the Rockies, he's having a really good year.
He's got an ERA under 3 in pitches at Coors Field.
Yeah, that's amazing. 2.84 ERA collectively for Kyle Freeland.
That's ball 4, and Hosmer down to first base.
How about Aaron Nola with the Phillies? Almost 2.5, 2.45.
I mean, you hear so often when you hear about the batting title winners coming from Colorado each of the last 2 years, oh, it's because they play at Coors Field. Okay, if that goes offensively, that should go the other way for pitching.
That's a great point. Chances are you're going to get half your starts at Coors Field.
Right.
And if you end up the year with that ERA, 2.84, yes.
Pretty good. And if the Rockies are indeed a wild card team, Freeland will get the start, obviously, for the Rockies. Last year was John Gray in a game that turned out to be highly offensive. The Diamondbacks Rockies wild card game a year ago. Renfroe's 0 for 2. He's popped out to short, reached on an error. Go to first, and back to the bag is Hosmer. Wild swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Renfroe chases. When the Padres hit 2 home runs in a single game, tweet at Fox Sports SD using the hashtag #HitToGetTo for your chance to win 4 new Hankook tires, brought to you by Evans Tire and Service Centers. Renfroe fouls it off to the right, and the count hangs at 1-2.
You know, I'm looking at on the subject of the Cy Young.
Yep.
I'm looking at Jacob deGrom's outing by outing, his game log. Only one time this year in an outing he's given up 4 earned runs. Every other start, fewer than 4.
Another foul, pitch count rising here for Stratton. In the 90s now. Look at the breakdown for him on the night. A short second inning, but otherwise been a taxing night.
And once again for the Padres, remember earlier last night they were having many opportunities but not getting them home. Last night the Padres left 2 on in the second, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth.
Tonight they've left 6 men on through the first 4 innings. Swing and a miss, off balance, and Renfroe strikes out. 4th strikeout for Stratton, 1 down.
He wants it down and away, and he misses with the breaking ball right down the middle, but he takes so much off of the breaking ball. It's the curveball. You can see the front shoulder, the front hip, down to the knee, trying to stay back, but can't do it, and he gets the strikeout.
1 out, 1 on, and Austin Hedges, the batter, 0 for 2. Hedges grounded out to third base in the second, struck out swinging in the third. Fifth inning from San Francisco, where the Padres have a 3-1 lead.
That was a miss there as well. He wanted it down and away, leaked down and in.
Down 1-2. Stratton 4 1/3 so far, charged with 3 runs. Hedges went around, and Hedges will strike out. Couldn't hold up. Back-to-back strikeouts for Stratton, 5 in all. Second time Hedges down by way of the K tonight.
Once again, it's the off-speed pitch. Looks like he's out in front of a little bit and cannot hold up, and Austin knew it.
2 down for Travis Jankowski. Hosmer held on by Garcia at first base.
Travis needs to get something middle in and send it into the night. That wind is now whipping out to right field. You get something elevated that way, it's got a chance to go.
Ooh, that almost went. Almost threw it away.
Let's check out this throw here on the outfield side. He yanks it. Oh, yeah.
Almost went away. Yeah, the wind is howling now as Jankowski shows bunt, but pulls it back. Get it up in the jet stream, and on it goes. McCovey Cove.
That's whipping right now.
Yep. Staying away, 3-0.
Yeah, it looks that's the Stratton's MO right here, because the outfield playing that way. You get something up and away a little bit, maybe belt buckle high, and he'll slap it that way, and that's where the outfield is playing for the Giants, shading over towards that left field line.
Javi Guerra waiting on deck as Jankowski takes a strike.
See how far off the plate that was?
Got the neighborhood call.
Man. And it's been both ways, so I'm not just saying, you know, it's for the Giants.
There's ball 4, and down to first base goes Jankowski. Been a weird inning here for Stratton. He's walked 2, struck out 2, and here comes Bruce Bochy. That is the 5th walk given up by Stratton. Puts 2 on with 2 down here in the 5th inning. Okert has been warming in the pen. And it looks like a double switch coming up here for the Giants. So a pitching change in the 5th with the Padres on top 3-1. By Petco, the pet company. By Hyundai. At Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. And right now, there's a lot to see at your Hyundai dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Pretty close to a full moon in my mind.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And the new pitcher is Steven Okert into the game.
This left-hander, Okert, was recalled from AAA on September 3rd. He's appeared in 7 games. Scoreless 4 innings with 4 strikeouts. Enters his 8th game of the year. Into the short time, really good splits. He inherits 2 runners.
Yeah, the Padres have runners at first and second with 2 down. And Part of the double switch. Kelby Tomlinson stays in the game here at second base. Coming out of the game is Avellino. So Tomlinson will bat 9th in the order and lead it off for the Giants in the home half of the 5th inning. Guerra with a swing and a miss. 1-2. Now 1 for 12 this year in the big leagues with the Padres. 0 for 2 tonight, having grounded out to first and struck out swinging. That's strike 3. Okert comes in and takes care of business pretty quickly. Padres strand a pair but lead it 3-1. All right, guys, thanks very much. It's 3-1 here with the Padres on top. Giants coming to bat against Robbie Erlin in the 5th inning. Kelby Tomlinson coming in as part of a double switch and swinging and missing.
Yeah, that's a really good point by Mark Sweeney. Those numbers, the strikeout numbers. Max Scherzer, man, he's a guy. If it's win day, right? If you're a wild card, he's the guy you want, right? Co-Cy Young Award winners. It could happen, right? Co-MVPs, Willie Stargell, Keith Hernandez back in, what, 1979.
Galvis to his right, throws out Tomlinson for the first out here of the 5th inning. You think there could be co-rookie of the years? We're talking about Acuna and
How about that?
Yeah.
How about if you had co-Cy Young, co-rookie of the year, co-MVP?
Well, Christian Yelich had himself a night tonight against St. Louis. Was 2 for 6 with a home run and a triple and had 6 RBIs.
The year of the co.
The Brewers defeat the Cardinals 12-4. Magic number for the Brewers to clinch their spot in the postseason is 1. Hunter Pence to left field, struck pretty well. Renfroe going back at the wall. That ball is gone. Home run number 4 of the year for Hunter Pence, and the Giants are back within a run.
Well, he's a fan favorite. When he is announced, people go nuts here in San Francisco, and that's a breaking ball. That's a classic example. We talked about lefty on righty, righty on lefty, breaking ball that catches too much of the plate and speeds up his bat. That's exactly what happens there, and Hunter Pence sends it deep to left center field. Because you can see he was out in front of that a little bit, right?
Austin Slater, 0 for 2 in the game. Slater has popped out a second and struck out looking. Foul back, it's a piece of Hedges. Taking inventory on the mask, make sure everything's all right. Appears to be.
Okay, let's say you and I are down on the field before a game. You put on the catcher's mask. Would you let me rifle a baseball just right at the mask just so you can get the feel of what it's like for a catcher?
No, I wouldn't.
No?
No. I'd pass on that opportunity. No interest. To short. Guerra backing up on it. Now the throw is in time. Shows off very good arm. 2 down.
Hey, he's got a hose. Hit hard enough to where Guerra can gather and then, almost like a pitcher, push off that back leg over the top, fires a strike to first.
2 down for Evan Longoria. 1 for 2.
Maybe we'll do that in spring training.
No, I don't think so. I'm not into it.
No?
No, I'm not digging it.
Because I don't even throw that hard. It really wouldn't even.
You throw hard enough. That's all I need to do is start the season off in spring training with a concussion. To be concussed right out of the gate.
Yeah, you know what? Second thought, I wouldn't want to do that to you. It's amazing, though, how the technology has.
I think the springs on the side.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Has advanced, I should say, the technology there.
Yeah, the technology there. 1-2 pitch.
Well, okay, not the technology. See, this is where the guys in the truck are supposed to help me in my ear come up with the right word.
This is wide right back to Erlin, who makes the catch, or it caught him. I'm not sure which. Makes the grab right back at him.
Wow.
Ends the inning. Home run in the inning for Hunter Pence. Look at this. Return to sender. 3-2 Padres. drive in two as part of a 3-run third inning for the Padres. On a Renfroe reach on an error. This will score a run off the glove of Avelino at second base. Reyes scores. The Giants getting right back in it with a home run from Hunter Pence. 4th of the year. It's now 3-2. Padres on top as we head into the 6th inning. Stephen Okert back out on the mound. Struck out Garrett in the 5th inning. Pitch hitter and Perella grounding one up the middle. Shortstop Crawford throws out Perella at first base. So Perella hitting for Erlin, retired 6-3. One down in the 6th, and it'll bring up Freddie Galvis.
You know, Jose Perella just pinch hit. We just saw that, right? What's nice here at AT&T Park, and a lot of ballparks now, they've got that cage right down the stairs, right? Right from the dugout to where they can go get live BP, hit off a tee, whatever they want, stretch to prepare for that at bat. Just right behind the dugout down the steps.
Well, for a long time, there was one cage underneath in some places, and both teams would share it, going at different times, maybe in center field or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now everybody's got it.
I remember at Qualcomm, it didn't have one until I think Tony Gwynn asked if they could make a makeshift batting cage up on the 2nd floor from the clubhouse at Qualcomm, and that was the hitting cage for both teams.
Down the right field line off the bat of Galvis. That is going to fall fair. Jumps up off the wall. Galvis is headed to second base. Got himself a double. 3rd hit of the night for Freddie Galvis. 4th time he's been on base. So a 1-out double for Galvis.
Freddie definitely using the whole field tonight. Nice job starting this ball game, taking 4 wide ones for the walk and then pulling the baseball in the 3rd, up the middle in the 4th, and down the right field line for the double here. Try to get that run back. The Giants scored in their bottom half of the 5th.
At second base with one away, Will Myers coming up. Myers grounded into a double play in the 1st, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, and walked in the 4th inning. Pickoff play at second and almost threw it away. Tomlinson cheating in from second base. Galvis getting back to the bag safely. Reyes Maranta back up again. 2nd time he's been up in the pen. Galvis with a 1-out double off Stephen Okert here in the 6th inning. Fly ball right center field. Hernandez coming in, and he'll get there to make the catch. Bill of the cap high. For out number 2, Galvis remains at second.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Comes Bruce Bochy here. Going to make a change as incoming Reyes Maranta coming in with 2 down in the 6th inning. 3-2 Padres. balance of the game.
Front row with the Tony Gwynn jersey and the throwback hat. Enjoying the big league ball game.
The Padres trying to get their 2-run lead back, on top by a run right now, 3-2. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Galvis at second. Franmil Reyes. That's the new pitcher, Reyes Maranta.
Well, the guy's got a good arm. First pitch slider, about 80. You know what's the amazing thing about Maranta? First batters faced, you know, you're always important to get that first guy. 0.38 clip. That's 2 for 53.
Wow.
But walks are a problem. It's about 13 walks to the first batter he's faced.
Reyes tonight has singled to right, walked, and grounded out to second base. Ball 2. Runner at second, the responsibility of the departed reliever, Stephen Oker. Heritage runner here, taken on by Maranta. On the ground to third, Longoria's got it. Little bobble, turns and fires for the out that ends the top of the 6th inning. Padres lead Galvis at second. It's 3-2 San Diego. Dave Winfield shirt here in San Francisco, where the Padres have a 3-2 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher on after Robbie Erlin's night is over. He was pinch hit for in the top of the inning, and there's Jose Castillo into the game now for San Diego.
Sticking to the left-handed theme, his 35th game for Jose Castillo, and he's had one heck of a year. And those splits really stick out. 171, 143. Trying to preserve the 1-run lead as we go to the second half of this Fuego.
Brandon Crawford leading it off here for the Giants. A lefty-lefty matchup. Crawford has grounded out to first and singled to center. That's a strike. 2-1. Robbie Erlin goes the first 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 4. Parts with a chance for a win if the bullpen can help him out. As Castillo now falls behind 3-1. Erlin came into the game at 4-7. Crawford now, Hundley next. And Aramis Garcia anticipated in the inning. That's a strike. Picked up that outside corner. In the air to right field, where Franmil Reyes is out there waiting. Now coming in for the first out of the 6th inning.
Well, let's go back to the 4th inning when Robbie Erlin was on the mound. Crawford singled, Hundley singled, so he's got some work to do. There's the strikeout to Garcia. How about a pop-up of the infield to Hernandez? Still one big out to get off the end of the bat. Nice grounder to Freddie Galvis, and they get him by a full step, and Robbie Erlin, after the 2 singles, leaves 2 stranded. A great inning of work. A little bit of a jam for Robbie Erlin there in the 4th.
So 2 runs in 5 innings for Erlin. There's Nick Hundley, takes strike 1. Hundley struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Single to left field in the 4th inning, 1 for 2. Fly ball, short right, long run for Reyes, and he's going to make that running catch. Galvis was out there, Hosmer was out there, and big Franmil Reyes comes flying in to make the catch. Nice play by Reyes. What a long way.
Nice play by the big fella. Now remember, that wind is blowing out towards right, and that kind of helps him a little bit, I would say, as 3 are converging, and Freddie Galvis, get out of the way. You don't want to run into that train. Freddie's got a beat on it. He's looking at Franmil, and he peels off, and rightfully so.
Now 2 down here in the 6th inning now. Reyes has handled them both out there in right field. So Aramis Garcia with a swing and a miss. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Strike 3 call. 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. Jose Castillo with a nice inning. Garcia didn't like it at all. 3-2 Padres.
a lot in your career. Where does this rank for you personally?
Oh, it's right up there, because a lot of people, and a lot of people have said this to me, they never thought in their lifetime that UC San Diego would move to Division I, and now we're moving forward. So this is the #1 thing for me as an athletic administrator.
Inside San Diego Sports gives you an inside look at UCSD's bold move to Division I and introduces you to a local high school running back who is 3rd in the entire nation in rushing yards. That's tonight, right here after Padres Live.
That's on here to the 7th inning. Eric Hosmer leading it off against Reyes Maranta. And taking strike 1. Alan Hansen has come in at second base now for the Giants, and moving from second to third is Kelby Tomlinson. Not sure if Evan Longoria hurt himself or not, but Tomlinson, who had been at second base, moving to third. Don't forget about that foul ball earlier.
Oh, that's right.
They took off the knee area.
Yep.
Might have been a factor. Don't want to speculate, but
right.
Going 2 to Hosmer. He jumps back out of the way of a pitch in. Robert Stock up in the pen for the Padres. Bullpen's exposed here in San Francisco. One of the last places to have that.
Well, you can't say enough what Robbie Erlin did. 5 innings. He did his job. 1 earned run. He gave up 2. Struck out 4. No walks. And Castillo, a perfect 6th.
Bullpen's been so good.
Very good. It's been fun to watch. And with each outing, and granted, there's going to be times where you're going to give up a couple, 2, 3. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. It happens in every bullpen. Hey, once out of every 8, 9 times, you'll take that. You see everybody's bundled up tonight.
Chilly night tonight in San Francisco. Foul back to the screen. Hosmer now, Renfroe next. Hedges expected here in this top of the 7th inning for San Diego. Foul back again. Seems like Hosmer's 3-2 a lot. In fact, he's worked a count of 3 and 2 more than anybody else in the Padres. 71 times. 11th most in the National League in that category.
That's a good eye and following some pitches off, huh?
Grounds one down the first base line. Little kick foul. Come on back. Plate appearance continues here. Hunter got the final out of the 6th inning. Back out there to start the 7th. Swing and a miss, and Hosmer strikes out. 1 down. First strikeout for Maranta.
Looks like Maranta pulled the string right there. Way out in front of it. Was it the changeup? Was it the breaking ball? Looks like a breaking ball.
1 down in the 7th inning. Brings up Hunter Renfroe. In there for a strike.
62 innings, 76 strikeouts for Maranta.
Renfroe has popped out a short, reached on an error, and struck out. Down 0-2. Padres with a 3-2 advantage. One down here in the 7th, and base is empty. One-two pitch coming up. Fly ball headed out towards deep right center field. Over is Hernandez. And Gorky's Hernandez shy of the track, handles out number 2. Well, the NL West scoreboard right now, the Rockies with a 10-3 win over the Phillies. They're in the top of the 8th. Chase Field in Arizona with the Diamondbacks on top 3-2 over the Dodgers. So
hey, Diamondbacks had bases loaded in the bottom half of the 7th, and they couldn't get anything across, but still hold on a 1-run lead.
Hedges punched at that, called a strike anyway. Been a quiet night at the plate tonight so far for Hedges. Padres catcher has grounded out and struck out twice. And down 0-2. th pitch of relief coming up for Maranta. 96.
He's got a good arm. Good breaking ball.
To the third arm used tonight by the Giants. Stratton, the starter, on the hook. 4 2/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned. Down the third baseline, a fair ball. Long throw from Tomlinson, but he'll get it there in time to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, 7, 7th inning stretch, 3-2 Padres. By Sequan Casino, opening in 2019 as Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. By Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. And by SeaWorld. Sea Turtle is tonight's word of the game. Head to FoxSportsSanDiego.com and click Ways to Win for your chance to win a SeaWorld Family 4-pack.
You know what?
What's that?
I think if you were an animal,
here we go.
You'd be a sea turtle.
There's a story behind that for another time. As Robert Stock comes into the game here for the Padres.
Well, they call him Bob in the clubhouse. Bob Stock has got the very nice slider, upper 90s on the fastball, and he has really put together a nice season. 31st game for Robert. Nice ERA at 2.13. And once again, this bullpen trying to preserve a 1-run lead. It's getting late.
Gorgis Hernandez.
Wow.
Takes strike 2, 98.
98, Don, with movement. That was a lane changer at 98.
Stock takes over for Castillo. Had a 1-2-3 6th inning, including a strikeout. Starter Robbie Erlin went 5, giving up 2 runs. On the ground to third base and off the glove of Myers into foul ground over by the bullpen. And Gorgis Hernandez is going to end up at second base to begin things here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
You know what? I think that's a play Will had time to get in front of, rather than trying to play it off to the side. It wasn't hit that sharply.
Error charge to Myers.
That's a play that's got to be made.
Pitcher spot due. Chris Shaw is going to pinch hit. Tying run in scoring position at second base. And a foul off to the left out of play.
You know, it's one thing to bobble on the infield and get the error and keep the guy at first base. That one hurts because now it gets the tying run in scoring position. No double play. Yeah.
Just a 208 average so far for Shaw. Pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 7th. Fouling another one off. 0-2, 99 from Stock. Runner goes for third, pitches outside, throw to third, going to be close, and he is out at third base.
What is he doing?
Wow, ran into it out right there.
Wow.
When Walcott, third base umpire, had to get out of the way and then collided there with Myers, and then finally made the call. And Hernandez thrown out at third with the front door open.
Nobody out. Tries to steal third. The front door is open, as you mentioned. Easier throw. And a nice job by Will Myers going up. You know, thank goodness the big frame of Will Myers going up and getting it and then quickly back down. And look at that. Right like that. 2 quick outs, nobody on. How about that?
Well, striking out is Shaw, 2 down, and the complexion of this inning has changed very quickly. The pinch hitter coming up here, and Joe Panic now. They're 2 down, base is empty. Maybe because Stock wasn't paying a lot of attention to him, he thought he'd take third. Not a good move.
No, not a good move.
There's a base hit by Panic, pinch hit into right field. Highlights the caught stealing. So tying run now at first with 2 down for the Giants here in the 7th inning. Top of the order, Hunter Pence. He homered to get the Giants closer in the 5th inning. That was off Robbie Erlin, and his 4th home run of the year. Always chokes up. Significantly chokes up. Robert Stock working here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Trying to keep the Padres on top here by a run. Strike called.
But you see Pence, he's really opening up on that front side on those pitches. Did you see that? I mean, it's almost like his first movement is the right shoulder, the front foot stepping in the bucket almost.
Yep.
And as a pitcher, you notice that, and then you try to maybe pepper away. And even a breaky ball for a strike, that's one that's going to top off the end of the bat, maybe get a weak rounder. Look at that. Wow. Once again, really opening up. I would stay away, middle in, especially with the way he chokes up, right? And then see how he just opens up big time.
Can't get to that.
No.
Not like that. 2 down in the inning. Panic at first. Payoff pitch coming up. Runner goes and a grounder back up the middle into center field. Heading for third is Panic. He will get there. And it's first and third with 2 down. Tying run 90 feet away now for the Giants.
Yeah, Robert Stock missed with a fastball right there. I think his intent was to go down and away. Caught too much of the plate. And with the way Hunter Pence swings and chokes up, his idea of playing pepper is doing just that. Just putting the ball in play. See the glove of Austin Hedges? He wants it down and away. That ball leaks middle in, hits right on top of it, right over the mound. First and third action for the Giants.
Another pinch hitter going to be coming up here for Austin Slater as Darren Balsley out there talking to Stock. Gregor Blanco going to pinch hit here. The tying run 90 feet away for the Giants. 217, 2 homers, 9 runs batted in for Blanco. Stock trying to get through this 7th inning. Strike one, 99. That's a benefit of the doubt there. Line to left field, and that's going to get in for a hit and get by Renfro. Game is tied, and now from first base, Hunter Pence trying to score. He will. And the Giants have taken the lead in the 7th inning. So all this coming with 2 down in the inning, and Blanco with a pinch hit double to drive in 2.
Hey, it's tough coming off the bench to pinch hit. After sitting for 7 innings, 6.5. Especially against a guy who's throwing the ball hard, but he eyes him up perfectly and takes it the other way. Why try to pull that 98, 99 fastball? Just get the barrel out in front, hits it in a perfect spot. Where Hunter Pence, who does not have blazing speed, scores easily to make it 4-2.
Now Hansen batting for the first time will take strike 1. Batting in the spot of Evan Longoria, who left this game last inning. Hansen at .259, 8 homers, 39 runs batted in. Insurance run out there at second base, and Gregor Blanco. Fly ball into shallow right field. In comes Franmil Reyes. Makes the catch that ends the 7th inning, but the Giants have scored twice, and they take a 4-3 lead. Back here in San Francisco, where this game has changed. The Giants have taken a 4-3 lead. Tony Watson, fourth pitcher used by the Giants tonight.
Very reliable Tony Watson at 2.6 ERA. Trying now that game has swung in the Giants' favor. They lead by a run. Back and forth, seesaw battle here. And two lefties lead it off for the Padres here in the eighth.
In there for a strike. That's strike two to Jankowski. 0-2. A lot of changes here. Gregor Blanco now in left field as Hansen moves from second base to third base. Joe Panik now at second. And the new pitcher is Tony Watson. Bunch of pinch hitters in that inning for the Giants, and it worked out for him. End up taking a lead, scoring 2 runs off Robert Stock and taking a 4-3 advantage here to the top of the 8th inning. 1-2 to Jankowski. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out for the first out of the 8th inning.
Big first out for the Giants, and Tony Watson lefty on lefty. It's the sweeping breaking ball that Watson is known for. Looks like a strike off the plate by about 1.5 feet. Tough to lay off with 2 strikes.
One down here in the 8th inning. Pitch hitter Manuel Margot. Pitch hitting for Javi Guerra. Had been 0 for 3 tonight. Got the start at shortstop. Strike one. High strike call. That's Strom in the pen for the Padres. Thought we may see Strom tomorrow get a spot start, but instead it is Luis Perdomo who's going to get the nod tomorrow. And Eddie Green saying he's going to use Strom quite a bit down the stretch on out of the pen and some higher leverage maybe situations. We will see Perdomo tomorrow in the finale of this 3-game series. Popped up foul off to the right out of play. Perdomo will be expected to go, what, 3 innings?
Sure. Yep. And for the Giants, Casey Kelly, former Padre.
Hanging tough, Margot fouls off another. One, 2 in the air down the right field line, out of play. Outfield straight away here on Margot. What a good battle. 1-2. And he did go around. Yep, rung up. Ryan Adeton, first base umpire. Back-to-back Ks for Watson. 2 down in the 8th inning. Another pinch hitter coming up here for the Padres.
Well, so many times that Tony Watson's been in those high leverage situations. Guy who doesn't throw that hard but can manipulate that baseball and throw it where he wants to, especially with the off-speed stuff, with the breaking ball to get Travis Jankowski. Had a little rollover there, down and away to get Margot.
Corey Spangenberg pinch hitting. Pitch hits for Robert Stock. So in the pitcher spot here, 231, 7 homers, 25 runs batted in. On the ground, left side. Crawford to the backhand. Long throw, and he got him. Wow. See if the Padres take a look at this. Brandon Crawford, I didn't think he was going to be able to get enough on the throw, and he apparently did. The call on the field is out. We'll see if the Padres are going to challenge. Spangenberg, pretty good speed down the line at first. I think he got him.
Yeah, that's
no
a
challenge.
Great play.
6-3 on the putout. 4-3 Giants. Is going to use their fourth pitcher of the night. Enter Matt Strom.
Matt has put together a darn good year. 39th game for the left-hander. A beautiful ERA of 2.01. Now it's time for him to hold the Giants at 4.
Brandon Crawford made a very nice defensive play to end last inning. Leads it off here in the home half of the 8th. And a base hit back in the 4th. Other changes for Spangenberg. Stays in the game at second as Freddie Galvis moves from second to short after the hit for Javi Guerra. In there for strike 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Strom takes over for Stocco in an inning, giving him 3 hits, 2 runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out a batter. Right now on the hook. Bobby Erlin needed help from the bullpen in order to get a victory. He left with the lead, but fortunately will not be part of the decision tonight. Erlin came in at 4 and 7 individually. Swing and a miss, and Strom's able to strike out Crawford for the first out of the 8th inning.
Let's see what the big left-hander twirls against Brandon Crawford there. 94 fastball off the plate. Kind of a crossfire action. See all upper body from Brandon Crawford there.
There's Nick Hundley with 1 down. Hundley struck out in the first, single to left in the 4th inning before flying out to right in the 6th. A little bit high. Will Smith, the closer for the Giants, getting ready. This is a team on top by a run right now. Fly ball, short right field. Spangenberg going out there to make the catch. Corey Spangenberg from second base, able to get out into short right field for out number 2.
You can see Corey right there shaking his head affirmatively to Franmil Reyes. He got to that ball quickly. Let's see if we can see Corey here and Franmil, as Franmil in right's got a long way to go. Yeah, he wasn't even in the picture there, so his ball all the way. Nice job by Corey getting to that one.
Well, 2 down here in the 8th brings up Ramos Garcia. Did he go? No. They checked with first base umpire Ryan Adeton. Fly ball foul. Evens the count of 1-1. And let's revisit our keys to the game, brought to you by our San Diego Honda dealers.
No errors for Erlin. Padres 3 errors, 1 unearned run. It could have been much nastier. So Will Myers make a miscue. Javi Guerra 2 miscues. And strike Stratton early. Chris Stratton 3 runs, 2 earned in 4 2/3 innings of work for the Giants starter.
Ramos Garcia tonight 0 for 3, is grounded out and struck out twice. In his first look at Matt Strom tonight with 2 down in the 8th. I think he went. They check, yeah, he did, and they ring him up. Nice inning of relief for Matt Strom. Sends us to the 9th inning with the Giants on top 4-3. A base hit for Freddie Galvis. A couple of hits for Freddie Galvis in this game. He's had quite a night, as Freddie Galvis has been on base 4 times in the game. A walk, single, double. From the top spot of the order. And it's Freddie Galvis who's going to lead it off from the top spot of the order to begin things here in the 9th inning. Padres down a run.
Well, with the way this one has been going, this is the way the Padres want to lead off their top half of the 9th inning. As you just got done talking about Freddie Galvis, Will Myers and Reyes due up here. And Will Smith, 14-17, 3 blown saves, very nice ERA, 1.76. More strikeouts than innings pitched. He is one tough customer. Splits, 164 lefties, 177 righties. Enter left-hander Will Smith.
Galvis fouls it off down the right field line, out of play. Foul back, 0-2. So Will Smith into the game here, the closer for the Giants. Trying to take game 2 of the series. Padres won game 1. They stymied the Giants in the first game. Oh, he wanted that. Didn't get it. Close pitch.
Hundley set up away. That's off the plate. That's a ball. We've seen a lot of those called strikes though tonight.
That is strike 4.
Wow.
Freddie didn't like it. 1 down in the 9th inning.
Wow, this one's more off the plate than the other one was. Wow.
1 down here in the 9th inning. That is now 9 in a row retired here by Giants pitching, and it brings up Will Myers.
And the 10th strikeout tonight for Padre hitters. Into the double digits tonight.
Will Smith entering tonight with the second lowest earned run average among National League relievers. 1.76 mark. Milwaukee's Jeremy Jeffress. Only one better, 1.35 earned run average. Myers lines one to left field. That is going to be a fair ball headed to the left field corner. Myers headed for 2. Over to play it is Blanco. And the tying run in scoring position now with 1 down in the 9th inning for the Padres. First hit of the night for Myers.
Nick Hundley set up inside, and you know what? Credit Will Myers for getting to that one. Sometimes hitters cheat. They look for something in. They look for a certain zone, and it looks like how quick Will was to that one. His hands get through. That's a pitch that sometimes a lot of guys will hook foul. He kept it fair nicely.
So a 1-out double here in the 9th inning, tying run in scoring position, and here is Franmil Reyes. Been on twice, single and a walk on the night. Strike 1. On the ground, base hit into right field. Here comes Myers around. Pence over to play it as the Padres tie it up in the 9th inning. Franmil Reyes with a base hit the other way ties it up.
It seems like Franmil Reyes coming through big time situations and just putting the ball in play and not having to use that big swing to get the job done. That's a perfect example. The kid shortens up, takes it the opposite way, and we're tied at 4. That's clutch. That's big time.
Well, blown saves. The Giants have added another one. 30. Most blown saves. And it's happened again. One out double by Myers. The RBI single by Franmil Reyes, and it's tied up 4-4 here in the 9th. 0-1 to Hosmer. On the ground towards shortstop. Crawford will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. Double play ends the top of the 9th inning, but the Padres have tied the score. The blown save for Will Smith. 4-4 to the bottom of the 9th we go. Franmil Reyes tying this game up with his base hit to right center. Tied the score 4-4 with a single run in the top of the 9th inning. As Franmil Reyes driving that run in. Will Myers, who had doubled before him, comes around to score. And it is tied up here 4-4 with Craig Stammen coming into the game. Matt Strom pitched the 8th. Enter Craig Stammen for the 9th.
Crunch time. Giants at home. Craig Stammen's got his work cut out for him. Craig has put together a nice year. 2-seam fastball, slider. And bottom of the order for the right-hander.
Rookies Hernandez leading it off. And grounding one foul. As Hernandez begins the inning at the plate. On deck is Chase Darno, the former Padre. Hernandez grounds one back to the pitcher. Stammen to first for the first out. Broken bat. Bat ended up down near Myers, a lot of it. Third base, one down.
A lot of movement on the pitches from Craig Stammen. Is it the breaking ball or the two-seamer? It's the slider right off the end of the bat. And the one hopper to Craig Stammen. That ball, or that head of the bat rather, went all the way down the third base line to Will Myers. Wow.
One down in the 9th, and it brings up Chase Darno, the pinch hitter. Strike one. Down the middle at 92. He's got 3 home runs on the year, 9 RBIs, 225 average. Time last year in Atlanta, Boston, and San Diego. Drops a bunt down and will go foul. Oh, 0-2 to Chase Darno. Joe Panik on deck with the Giants batting here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss, and Darno strikes out, 2 down in the 9th.
Looks like Craig going with the slider on that comebacker, and then the two-seamer down and in. Wow, that's tremendous movement right over the top of it for the strikeout.
2 down in the 9th inning, and it brings up Panik. Single to right field in the 7th, contributing to that 2 runs, put the Giants on top of the time, 4-3. Fly ball down the left field line. Long run for Renfroe, and Renfroe will get there to make the catch into foul ground to send this to bonus baseball. Tie it up 4-4 from San Francisco. And it'll be Hunter Renfroe. Austin Hedges, Travis Jankowski scheduled to bat against the new pitcher Sam Dyson into the game now for the Giants.
71 relief appearances for the right-hander Sam Dyson. Team leading 71. Tied for 7th most in the National League. His career high is 75 back in 2015. And the heavy workload and really good numbers. ERA under 3. And decent splits as well, as we go into bonus baseball here in the City by the Bay. He's a ground ball pitcher, Sam Dyson. Tough to elevate.
Now Dyson taking over for Will Smith, the closer, blew the save. Giving up the double to Myers, the RBI single for Reyes to tie the score, before getting Eric Hosmer to ground into an inning-ending double play that ended the 9th. Now it's on to the 10th, and Renfroe leading it off.
See the movement there out of the hand of Dyson? That's why he gets a lot of ground balls. A lot of times he'll be brought in a game to try to get a double play. He's induced 13 double plays, tied for 4th among NL relievers.
.94 on the fastball for strike 1. Strike 2. 95 that time into the bottom of the zone. This guy works a lot. As Hedges waits on deck, one of 3 relievers since 2015 to have at least 3 seasons of 70 or more appearances. Tony Watson is on this staff, and Brian Shaw, guy who had a tough season this year with the Colorado Rockies for the most part. Inside. 2-2 pitch coming up. Grounds one up the middle, but ranging is Crawford on the run. And in time retires Renfroe for the first out of the 10th inning. So Austin Hedges coming up. Hedges 0 for 4 has grounded out, struck out, grounded out again. Diamondbacks walked it off tonight against the Dodgers. On the ground down the third baseline, going to be a fair ball. Hanson, 2 down. 2 ground ball outs. Quiet night for Hedges, 0 for 5.
Yeah, in the desert, Eduardo Escobar taking Kenta Maeda yard for the walk-off in Copper Square for the D-backs.
Travis Jankowski coming up. Travis tonight 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Single to center field in the second inning. Ball 2-2-0. Trey Winginter up in the pen. Kirby Yates in the background there too, not throwing, but ready if the Padres can get a lead. And Jankowski taking the strike, 3-1. Trying to get on here. A.J. Ellis has come out on deck here for the Padres. Jankowski goes after it, and that's strike 2. Kind of bunt at it down that third base line.
Well, he probably knows he's going to get a fastball, right? But it's a sinking fastball and cannot put it down. I'd like to see a swing away right there.
Hits it on the ground right side. Panic to first for the out that sends us to the bottom of the 10th inning, tied 4-4. with a 2-run single here from Eric Hosmer. Padres had a 3-run third inning, but back come the Giants. Home run. Now a single the other way. This will be a double actually for Blanco. Franmil Reyes ties it up. His base hit after Myers had double. Tied up 4-4 to the bottom of the 10th inning we go. Craig Stammen back out there again. Second inning of relief. Takes strike one from Stammen. Stammen had a 1-2-3 ninth inning. 5 for 19 in his career against Stammen at .263, including a home run. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Well, the last time on the hill for Craig Stammen was back on Friday in Los Angeles, so he is well rested. And the reason why I say that is that, remember, tomorrow's a bullpen day. Luis Perdomo on the hill. Kind of an abbreviated Johnny Holstaff day. So will Craig Stammen go 2 innings? You know, however long this one goes. Will he go more than 2?
Popped up. Backpedaling is Spangenberg to the short lawn and right for the first out of the 10th inning. Eight in a row retired by Padres pitching. Gregor Blanco coming up. Five for 10 in his career against Stammen. Strike one. Reaches out and pokes it foul. 0-2. Game number 158 of the year for the Padres, going into extra frames tonight. 1 out, bottom of the 10th inning. Gregor Blanco at the plate right now for the Giants. 0-2 pitch. And Blanco strikes out looking. 2 down. Second strikeout for Stammen's coming in.
That's a really good pitch from Craig Stammen. Blanco kind of stayed in the box, kind of disputing that call. But look at this pitch right here. That's a perfectly located 2-seamer top of the zone. Legitimate strike.
Nine in a row retired by Padres pitching. 2 down here in the 10th. Alan Hansen flied out to right field in his first plate appearance in the 7th inning. Well, the Padres in extra inning games are 3-10. Giants are 10-10. Fly ball. Out goes Spangenberg to shallow center to make the catch. That sends us to the 11th inning. Tied up 4-4 tonight from San Fran. Mark Melanson coming in here for the Giants. And he has certainly had a very tough season. Signed a $62 million contract and been injured the last couple of years. Has signed to be the closer, but really has not been the closer since he started here with the Giants. And a tough day on Saturday against the Cardinals. A walk-off home run by Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals in St. Louis. And here he is coming into his 40th game of the year. This is the home run that he gave up to end the ball game on Saturday in Busch Stadium.
That's a hanging breaking ball, not the sharp breaking ball that we've seen from Mark Melanson in the past. And one of the many things that have gone wrong for the Giants this year, granted, injuries. You know, you can't control that. Injuries to the rotation, the bullpen. Melanson throws a lot of cut fastballs along with that curveball.
A.J. Ellis pops one up into right field. Hunter Pence coming in for the first out of the 11th inning. One pitch and one out here in the 11th. Brings up Corey Spangenberg. Second plate appearance, grounded out to short in the 8th inning. And on the grass at third is Hansen in case Spangenberg entertains any thoughts of bunting. Strike call. Wow. 1-1. That's at one point a very successful closer for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Swing and a miss. 2-2. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Top of the order, Freddie Galvis waiting on deck. With one down here in the 11th inning. Spangenberg gets a ground ball right side. Ranging is Panic with a nice play from short right field. 2 down. Well, Joe Panic, nice rangy play. 2 away.
Well, the speed of Spangenberg, any infielder, you know, right at you, you still got to make sure you make a clean play and clean throw. But on the run, especially Joe Panic, to his left, spinning towards the glove hand side, more momentum that way, and the easy throw to first base to Garcia.
2 down in the 11th. Freddie Galvis, a batter. 3-hit night with a walk. Mark Melanson had 51 saves with Pittsburgh in 2015.
Yeah. He was the man. You know what, Don, that nugget you did just threw out there, it just makes you appreciate guys that can close for a long, long time, right?
Yep.
Like Trevor Hoffman, Hall of Famer, Dennis Eckersley, we talk about Hall of Famers, but it just goes to prove that not everybody can do it. You might have a good year or two, but to consistently do it each and every year for a handful or plus years, that's tough to do.
Falls behind 2-1. Got 11 saves for the Giants last year. Fly ball headed out towards deep left center field on the run, and that ball is going to one-hop the wall. Galvis heading for second base, has himself a 2-out double. Rookies Hernandez and Gregor Blanco coming together. Neither can catch it, and one hops the wall.
4-hit night for Freddie Galvis. Second time tonight that Freddie's gone the opposite way. Middle away, and splits the gap. Now this is where the big boys got to come through.
Will Myers with 2 down here in the 11th inning. Go ahead run in scoring position now for the Padres. Galvis taking third, throw in the dirt. He'll get there standing. Taken off right away.
Remember, Melanson throws that curveball. You get a good curveball in the dirt right now. Get away from Hundley. That's a run. So nice play, nice base running play by Freddie Galvis.
Go ahead run 90 feet away. Myers fouls it off, 1-1. That's in the 7th pitcher used tonight by Bochy. 1 for 2 in his career against Melanson is Will Myers. Taps it foul, 1-2. Go ahead run at third base in Galvis with 2 down in the 11th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Myers grounds it softly towards short. Crawford coming in, throws on the run, and in time. Melanson gets out of the jam as we head to the bottom of the 11th, tied 4-4. Comes into the game for the Padres.
Big tall right-hander, crunch time on the road, tie ball game. Extra frames, his 20th game. We know he's got the power stuff. 99-mile-an-hour fastball, very tight slider. On the road, since the time Trey's been in the big leagues, opponents only hitting .207 off the right-hander.
Brandon Crawford going to lead it off here for the Giants in the 11th. Singled in the 4th inning, 1 for 4 in the ball game. A pretty good chance here by the Padres with Galvis at third base. Left there as Myers grounded out to end the inning.
Huge opportunity. Couldn't come up with a big 2-out knock.
To first, and Hosmer will need Wingenter to cover, and he does for the first out of the 11th inning. One down in the 11th, and it brings up Nick Hundley. Hundley had a single back in the 4th inning, a 1-for-4 night. Strike one. Rolls it over foul, 0-2. Now back on April 30th, Nick Hundley walked it off against the Padres, and Brad Hand at the time. Already with a walk-off hit against the Padres this season. Now with one out in the 11th, a foul ball to the screen, still 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Wingenter strikes him out. 2 down in the 11th inning.
That is some high-octane gas at 97. Just blowing Nick Hundley away right there. Watch the glove of Hedges. Does he thread the needle? Oh, you bet. Right there. 97 with a little bit of movement. Hundley goes down swinging.
12 batters in a row retired by Padres pitching. Two down in the 11th. Ramos Garcia. Garcia 0 for 4 in the game, has struck out 3 times tonight. Robert Stock giving up a couple of runs in his inning of relief back in the 7th inning. Giants had a 4-3 lead, but a blown save for their closer Will Smith. Pitch in there for strike 2.
So 30 blown saves, huh, for the Giants this year.
Lot.
It is a lot.
Two and two.
You know, I know I said this before, but I was in the clubhouse before the game today, and Trey Wingenter walked by me. That kid is huge. That is a big kid right there. Just amazes me every time I walk by those guys down there. Guys like Castillo, Franmil, Trey.
Swing and a miss, and striking out is Garcia. We head to the 12th inning tonight. Tied up at 4. top half of the 12th inning. And Mark Melanson back out on the mound here for the Giants. They get out of the runner at third, 2 down situation by getting Myers to ground out in the 11th. But it's on to the 12th, and Franmil Reyes leading it off.
You know, we talked about the struggles of Mark Melanson. Hitters hitting .295 prior to this game. 36 innings, more hits than innings pitched at 43, but he's only given up 2 home runs. ERA at 3.25.
Reyes went around for a strike 1. Check with Ryan Atatom, first base umpire. He offered. Close pitch, called the ball, 1-1. Melanson, the 7th pitcher used tonight by the Giants. Padres have used 6. There's a ground ball base hit down the right field line, headed towards the right field corner, as Reyes thinking to a bobble in right field by Pence, and he will get the second to begin things here in the 12th inning.
Franmil Reyes has put together some good at-bats tonight. Singled his first at-bat, got on a walk, he scored. Put the ball in play. You know, tonight avoiding the strikeout, a single in the 9th, and right there, nobody out into scoring position. This is huge for San Diego.
Now they're going to intentionally walk Eric Hosmer of the no-throw kind. Down to first base. Runners at first and second. That'll bring up Hunter Renfroe. Nobody out in the 12th inning. Fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. Manfred does not have a hit tonight. 0 for 5 at the plate. Great time to grab his first hit of the night here in the 12th inning. Strike 2. Reyes at second, Hosmer at first, nobody out of the 12th inning. Renfroe fouls it off at the dish. Twenty pitches in relief for Melanson. Hedges waiting on deck.
Well, this is where all the work for Hunter Renfroe. Talk about the numbers in the second half. Shorten it up maybe. Putting the ball in play to the right side. Hit the ball hard where it's pitched. Doesn't have to use his A swing every time. Just barrel it up, hit it somewhere.
That was Ray Black warming in the pen for the Giants as the pitch misses. One-two pitch. And a ground ball off the runner, and he is out.
On.
That hit Reyes, I believe. It did.
You got.
In between second and third, Reyes is hit. So awarded a base hit will be Renfroe, but it is an out for the first out of the inning.
That is unbelievable. How does that happen?
Right off that left foot.
Yeah. Gosh, that shouldn't happen.
So Hedges now with runners at first and second, one down. Ball one. So that goes to 6 unassisted. 2 on, 1 away. Hedges tonight, quiet night at the plate, 0 for 5. Grounds it foul over by the Giants dugout. They're housed on the third base side.
This is just really frustrating. That ball was ticketed towards center field, and it's a possible run. See the ball change direction off the left foot of Reyes. Oy vey.
1-1 pitch coming up here to Hedges with 2 on. Go ahead run in scoring position, and Eric Hosmer at second. Outside for ball 2. Ball 3. So the good hitters count here now for Hedges. Travis Jankowski waiting on deck here in the 12th inning. Hedges hits a fly ball to right center field. Gorkis Hernandez is over, and he'll make the catch. Tagging is Hosmer heading to third, and he will get there. So the second straight inning here, the Padres with 2 outs have the go-ahead run 90 feet away. Travis Jankowski coming up here with a chance to put the Padres on top. Two outs and runners in scoring position, hitting at 250. Strike 1. A little bit low, same spot. Melanson wanted it.
Remember I told you Melanson throws that cut fastball and that curveball. Boy, if Travis can be quick. There is a little bit of that big hole on that right side. Garcia is a step off the bag with that runner on first base.
Skips in, Hundley able to pick it, 2-1. Jankowski's been on twice in this game, a single and a walk. Go ahead run 90 feet away, and Eric Hosmer. The Padres left Freddie Galvis at third base in the 11th inning. Now another chance in the 12th. Francisco Mejia has come out on deck. Strike 2. 2-2 to Jankowski. Fouled off and will do it again.
Well, does Melanson dare throw that curveball with 2 strikes here? Nick Hundley's got to be on his game because that runner at third base is the go-ahead run. If he does, in fact, throw that and bounce it. Let's peek in and see what Nick puts down. Slider, down and in, cutter. There's curveball.
Time call. Ball came loose from the Padres pen down the line. Seagulls starting to make their way in out there.
Here comes the curveball. Might bounce one here.
Jankowski strikes out of the jam again as Melanson in the 12th. Game still tied 4-4. Going to pinch hit to begin things here in the bottom of the 12th inning. Actually, he is going to bat second as Gorky Hernandez is going to lead it off. Then Bumgarner as Rowan Wick into the game here for the Padres.
Last time out for Rowan was in Los Angeles a couple of days ago. That was on Sunday for the right-hander, his 9th game. And just because he can't be concerned about Bumgarner right now, a big first out in the batter's box in Hernandez. When he gets up there to the plate, Bumgarner, don't shut your toolbox. We know that he can hit. He's a threat.
Swing and a miss for Hernandez. Now Hernandez fouls it off to the right out of play. 1-2. Gorky Hernandez. Oh for 4 in this ball game. Bounced in, 2-2. So Rowan Wick taking over here for Trey Wigginter when an inning with 2 strikeouts. 13 in a row retired by Padres pitching.
Well, what else can we tell you about Rowan Wick? He's held opponents scoreless in 7 of his 8 appearances to begin his major league career.
Full count now.
4-pitch pitcher, a 4-seamer, the slider, curve, and a sinker from Wick.
in the air to right field. Back towards the wall, and that's going to one-hop it a long way away. As Hernandez making his way around to third base will start things here in the 12th with a triple. Gapper to right center all the way back by the 421 marker. So a triple for Gorkys Hernandez.
Well, it looked like a cut fastball or something. Anyway you look at it, it was up above the belt, and Hernandez does a nice job of splitting the right field gap, avoiding the seagulls, and going to the 421 area for the triple. That's Triple's alley out there. Biggest part of this ballpark here in San Francisco.
Darren Balsley out there, the pitching coach. So is the infield. Madison Bumgarner is going to pinch hit here now. .182 average in 10 major league seasons, 17 home runs, 57 runs batted in, infield in all the way around for the Padres. Bumgarner will take strike one on the breaking ball, grabs the inside corner. Bumgarner to third and through Myers to left field. From third base, Gorkys Hernandez scores and the Giants walk it off. They win it 5-4, and it's Madison Bumgarner. Pinch hit, walk-off for the Giants.
Well, here's an athlete, Madison Bumgarner, who could probably bat 5th or 6th in a lineup, and he is our Carl's Jr. star of the game with that RBI single.
Yeah, the Padres certainly had their chances. Left a runner at third in the 11th and in the 12th innings, but it's the Giants who walk it off in 12. Giants taking 2 of the series. Madison Bumgarner, the hero tonight. Final score again in 12, 5-4 Giants. Padres Live is next. Mike Pomerantz, what's in store?